بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد ومن والاه. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to our important coverage of the terrain of uṣūl al-fiqh, recognizing some of the important terms that you need to know if you're going to take this subject seriously and really increase the level of scholarship in the English language. Second word that we want to talk about is a very famous word, al-ijtihad. Ijtihad, and from the form ifti'al. You need to know that stuff, man. If you're serious about the studies, you're going to learn sarf, not just nahu. No problem. لكن عليك بالنحو لكي تمشي النحو صرف. You should learn nahu so then you can head towards sarf. In fact, some of our teachers prefer you learn sarf first, the morphology. Automatic says لامية الأفعال. He says, وَبَعْدَ فَالْفِعْلُ مَنْ يُحْكِمْ تَصَرُّفَهُ يَحُزْ مِنْ لُغَةِ الْأَبْوَابَ وَالسُّبُلَ. Whoever masters tasrif al-af'al and asma' language, they're going to open up for them. So, اجتهد يجتهد اجتهادا. Ijtihad is the masdar. Of course, we know that the masdar is something, it's a noun that shows action without tense. That's what makes it different than verbs. But in our discussion now, we use the word ijtihad. We want to think of some synonyms that will help us understand it better, like al-wasa'. Al-wasa' means strength. وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضِ. Another word is طاقة. رَبَّنَا وَلَا تُحَمِّلْنَا مَا لَا طَاقَةَ لَنَا بِهِ. Oh, Lord, don't burden us with something. لَا طَاقَةَ لَنَا. We don't have the strength to handle it. So these are words that are sort of synonymous, if you will, with the word ijtihad. Linguistically, we say, jahida fi al-amri, that this person strove seeking this affair. Jahida أو بذل أو استفرغ قدرته في طلب هذا الأمر حتى بلغ غايته. The person just put forth maximum effort until they achieve this thing they were trying to achieve. In the terminology of scholars of uṣūl fiqh, say istifragh from faragha. Faragha means to empty. So istifragh and badlu, also some say, to exert all of one's energy. Istifragh al-faqih al-was'a لتحصيل ظن بحكم شرعي. This is the definition of Imam Ibn Hajib, المنتهى الأصول, right? In his famous مختصر. استفراغ الفقيه الوسع لتحصيل الظن بحكم أو ظن بحكم شرعي. بحكم شرعي. استفراغ الفقيه الوسع. استفراغ الفقيه is a unique type of idafa, which is like the fi'l and the fa'il, but you're bringing a mudafun ilay, and that's why I say al-wasa' is maf'ula bihi. So استفراغ الفقيه الوسع لتحصيل ظن بحكم شرعي. That the faqih is going to exert all of his or her energy and ability academically to achieve a strong assumption related to a Sharia ruling. We're going to talk about assumption in the future. We're going to talk about that in the future, because al-fiqh ليس من باب الظنون كما قال الباقلاني رحمه الله. But there is the process of an assumption about a ruling that leads to certainty. That's why al-Baydawi, Nasruddin al-Baydawi al-Qadi, says in Minhaj al-Uṣūl, he says something beautiful. You should memorize this, man. You should memorize this. I remember when I memorized it and I said it to Dr. Mahmoud, he's like, whoa, good job. You need to know that. When he says very beautifully, he says, وَالظَّنُّ فِي طَرِيقِهِ وَالْحُكْمُ مَقْطُوعٌ بِهِ. Yes, salam. Man, this term should be written in gold. وَالظَّنُّ فِي طَرِيقِهِ وَالْحُكْمُ مَقْطُوعٌ بِهِ. meaning that in the process of ijtihad, one is in the tariq, is in that process, but the ruling مقطوع به. The ruling is reaching the level of certainty. We'll talk about that why in the future. But here, استفراغ الفقيه الوسع لتحصيل ظن بحكم شرعي. That's not ijtihad. Ijtihad has some applications we should be aware of. For example, there's no ijtihad in the face of something which is qat'i. What do we mean by qat'i? Something which is munfarid, something which is mutabayin, something which is mutaradif. خلاص ما فيش كلام. We're going to talk about ijtihad where? And ishtirak, mushtarak, majaz, al-haqiqa, and those things. We'll get to this in the future. Or when there is no text. When there is no text. Or there's a debate about the authenticity of a text. There we're going to find ijtihad. We have the axiom, right? لا اجتهاد بوجود النص. أي النص قطعي دلالة. خلاص, we say قطعي دلالة. Okay. We're talking about what here? We're talking about munfarid, mutabayin. We're talking about what? Mutaradif. So that means ijtihad is going to happen where? In al-mushtarak. الظاهر المؤول المجاز الحقيقة المطلق المقيد إلى آخرها. It's going to come in the future. It's going to come in the future. We also know that there are certain levels of ijtihad. So we have the independent mujtahid, like the 4 imams or the 5 imams or the 6 imams, however you want to roll with it. For us as Sunnis, we say 4 imams. We have the mujtahid in the madhab, someone that within the madhab, like al-Maziri, al-Maliki, rahimahullah ta'ala, is making ijtihad in the madhab. Then we have the ijtihad which is related to like specific issues. So that scholar has enough knowledge in that specific issue to make ijtihad. And now there is something that some scholars have talked about, which is the ijtihad of the majma'. So you have this large lajna of fuqaha, right? This majma', this large, council of scholars, 300, 400, 150, 60, whatever, 70. I'm on North American Fiqh Council, Ijtihad ulama al-alami, you name it. So some are saying now there's like a form of ijtihad that can be done with this many ulama, because how are they going to be wrong? Like, how are those guys going to be wrong? لا تجتمع أمتي على الضلالة. The ummah doesn't agree on misguidance. فالحمد لله هذا هو الاجتهاد. We believe also, when we talk about this in the future, that ijtihad يستمر حتى يوم القيامة ويمكن عقلا. It's possible intellectually to see that someone can make ijtihad. We'll get to that in the future, barakallahu feekum. But there have to be a lot of conditions that are met. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد. السلام عليكم.